Just an hour south of Rome, on the ancient road to Veroli, looking across the vast valley at the great pre-Roman acropolis of Alatri, lies the Badia, known locally as the Badia di San Sebastiano, a place whose beginnings are lost in the mists of ancient time. It truly is one of the most magical and untouched Christian sites. Archaeologists understand this to be the oldest surviving monastic settlement in Italy and among the oldest in Europe, a proto-Cenobite settlement that became the birthplace of modern monasticism. Rare by even Italian standards, the structure of the Badia remains virtually unaltered to this day. Peter Cox, formerly president of ICOMOS, the National Scientific Committee, had described the Badia as among one of the best preserved and earliest monastic buildings in Europe. The Badia has an extraordinary history and has been home to many in its nearly 2,000-year existence. It truly is a hidden gem, sleeping gently for now. So how did all of this begin? In the late Roman period, there was a very powerful prelate called Liberius, or Liberio in Italian, thought to be one of the 10 most powerful men in Europe ever. During his time as prefect of the Gauls, Liberius was fatally injured in an ambush and left to die. He called for his friend, the papal representative, Cicero of Arles, who miraculously healed him. In gratitude, Liberius established a monastery at his estate in Lazio, and the deacon Servando was appointed abbot. This settlement became known as the Badia di San Sebastiano, named after the martyr Saint Sebastian, chosen by the benefactor for his combined martial and Christian values. His image appears in the frescoes created in the 12th century. In 528, the Badia was visited by a young Benedict of Nursia. Traditions say that Benedict visited Servando on his way from Subiaco to Monte Cassino. It is reported in the Via Placidi that he was received as a guest in the monastery of the sacred martyr Saint Sebastian. Thence the man of the god departed, bidding farewell to the deacon Servando. Gregory the Great, famed for his promotion of monasticism, wrote of the miracle witnessed by Servando on the visit to Monte Cassino in his dialogues. Servando, who was described as a frequent visitor, was staying overnight in Monte Cassino when he was called by Benedict to witness a great light containing the soul of Germanus, Bishop of Capua, in a fiery globe being carried up by the archangels to heaven. In gratitude for the hospitality Benedict received at the Badia, he had a bell cast for Servando, which is still in existence, and years later was transferred to an abbey in Alatri, where it still survives today. The heart of the Badia still dates back to this time, including the original monastic quarters, chapels and chapter rooms, a magnificent refectory and vast dormitory, the great undercroft and kitchen areas and larders, along with what's possibly a Templar chapel, all set round inner courtyards and a sunken garden. The abbey is surrounded by a working farm and ancient protected olive groves. It truly is a place for ora e labora, to work and pray, that has changed very little over the many centuries. It thrived as a Benedictine community until the early 13th century, when the Poor Clares, or Clarice order as they're sometimes known, made the Badia their home in 1283. Having no affinity to the Benedictine rule, the Poor Clares had issued their own rule by the Pope Innocent IV, known as the Rule of St. Clare. Despite being a pauper community, they commissioned the incredible frescoes in the chapel, which you saw earlier. Some of the earliest examples there are of paintings commissioned by women in the Franciscan community. They are thought to be painted over 8th or 9th century frescoes. Giovanni Tortelli was born circa 1400 and was a Renaissance humanist known for his contribution of the study of Greek and Latin. He was collaborating with Pope Nicholas V in founding the incredible Vatican Library, which still stands today. In 553, in recognition of his special merits as a scholar, librarian, and clergyman, the Pope granted him the post of abbot in Commendia of the Badia di San Sebastiano. It was here that he completed his great work, De Autographia, which was partially published as early as 1451. It is considered to be among the first Latin humanist works that gives the correct Latin meanings of over 3,500 Greek terms and provides their etymology and their meaning. He also began the renovation of the monastic complex, which had been left in a state of desolation. He constructed the great loggia on two sides of the courtyard, on which many a joyful meal is still celebrated. A flight of stairs leads to the original oratory through a door with an archway carved in the architrave which reads Johannes Arrhenius, in honour of Tortelli, which means John of Abruzzo, which was his hometown. The commandant of the monastery was transferred a number of times over the next 200 years. Significantly, in 1654, under Pope Innocent X, the Badia came into the possession of the princely Doria Pamphili family, whose vast palazzo in Rome is still one of the most impressive. In the early 20th century, it became an arts and crafts trade school until it was purchased by my uncle, Sir John Leslie, in '68. On a day trip from his home in Rome, he came across the Badia by chance and simply fell in love with it at first sight. He devoted the remainder of his days to preserving and gently restoring the buildings, organising masses to be celebrated and continuing to breathe life into this special place. Following his death, the Abbey passed to an Irish charity, the Leslie Foundation, who'd been tasked with finding the next custodians who will secure this property for years to come. It will also act as an endowment to the charity to undertake its valuable work in Ireland. We know it's not right for a building as important as this to simply exist. The building not only needs gentle rescuing, it needs to be brought back to life and to become once again a centre for study and prayer, for pilgrims to retreat and to reconnect. Given its beautiful location and extraordinary history, the Badia offers the most amazing opportunities to a kind new owner. It has stood for well over 1,500 years, and with a little help will continue to stand for many centuries more. We hope you find this timeless and beautiful place a project of interest and worth exploring further. We certainly look forward to hearing from you.